After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord, descending from heaven, came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. For fear of him, the guards shook and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then quickly go and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and indeed he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him. This is my message for you." So they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them, and said, "Greetings." And they came to him, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me."
Hey, good morning. It is sunrise. It is Easter 2020. Thanks for joining us on Walton Church Live. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. Jesus Christ up out of the grave. It's a wondrous thing. Hearing the earth come back to life after a long night. Hear the birds singing, the ambience all around. It is a glorious, glorious moment. There's a great story that always comes into my mind at Easter time. And it comes out of John chapter 21. And it's actually Jesus Christ has actually risen back up to life, and he's spending some time visiting with folks that he knew from his earlier ministry before going to the cross. And we read in chapter 21, he shows up and he talks to Peter and some of the other disciples as they were out fishing one night. And this is how the story goes. After this, Jesus appeared again to the disciples, this time at the Tiberias Sea, which is also the Sea of Galilee. And this is how Jesus did it. Simon Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, the brothers Zebedee, and two other disciples, they were all together. And Simon Peter suddenly said, "You know what? I'm going to go fishing." Well, the rest of them replied, "Well, we're not doing anything. We're going to go fishing with you." Well, they went out and they got in the boat and they went out and spent the night fishing, but you know what? They didn't catch a daggone thing. When the sun came up, Jesus was standing on the beach, but they didn't recognize who it was. Well, Jesus called out at them, "Hey, good morning. Did you all catch anything for breakfast?" And they had to answer the fellow up on the beach, "No, we didn't." Well, Jesus told him, he said, "This is what you guys need to do. You need to throw the net off the right side of the boat and see what happens." Well, they did what he said. And all of a sudden, there were so many fish in the net, they weren't even strong enough to pull it all in. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, hey, it's the Master." When Simon Peter realized that it was the Master, he threw on some clothes, for he had stripped for work, and he dove into the sea. The other disciples came in by boat, but they weren't far from land. 100 yards or so, they were pulling along the net full of fish. When they got up out of the boat, they saw a fire laid with fish and bread cooking on it. Jesus said, "Bring some of the fish you've just caught." Simon Peter joined them and pulled the net to shore. There were 153 big fish, and even with all those fish, the net didn't rip. And Jesus simply said to them, "Breakfast is ready." Not one of the disciples dared ask, "Who are you?" For they knew it was the Master. Breakfast is served. Breakfast is ready. That's one of the things you don't see Jesus doing, being the master chef around a campfire, cooking up fish and bread. Jesus is the Master, and breakfast is set for us. The breakfast of life, the breakfast of a new day, the breakfast of a resurrected Christ, the breakfast of the power of Christ working in and through us, the breakfast of new hope, new opportunities, a new vision, new light coming into the world. The breakfast is served this morning for you and me.